Good morning, and thanks for watching the Market Day Report. I'm Janet Adkison. While there are several provisions in the federal law that regulate the transport of livestock, which generally concerns animal health and driver safety. Next Monday, December 18th, the U.S. Department of Transportation final rule on electronic logging devices and hours of service is set to go into effect. Joining us now is Professor of Agricultural Law and Taxation at the Washburn University School of Law, Roger McEowen. Roger, thank you for joining us once again. Let's start with some background on this subject matter. Of course, how does this tie into animal welfare and also the 28-hour law?
Well, good morning, Janet. Yes, the federal government has had a pretty long impact in terms of regulating animal health and safety as those animals are transported across the country. But back in 1966, the Animal Welfare Act was enacted, and that initially addressed the problem of theft of pets and their sale for research, but then it was expanded to cover mistreatment of animals when they're transported in animal fighting ventures by live bird, dog, or any other mammals except man. Those rules don't bar hunting, but another law that also impacts transport of animals is the 28-hour law, and that goes back even before and long before the Animal Welfare Act. That goes to 1873, designed to prevent cruelty to animals in interstate commerce by a common carrier. And there were some amendments made to that over time, but basically that says that animals have to have sufficient food and rest. And so in a 28-hour time limit, there can only be a certain amount of time that truckers can drive, and then they have to rest and then have to feed and water animals. But there are some extensions that can be granted to that. There are some special rules that apply, for example, to sheep. But those are the two major laws that are out there. And the way that drivers keep track of that, historically, back since the 1930s, has been by written logs.
So what does the new rule require, and what exactly is the main goal with the mandate taking place?
Well, the new rule that was initiated in December of 15 under the Obama administration would require electronic logs be kept by truckers instead of a written logbook. The impact on agriculture, and of course the expressed purpose of the act is safety of the driver, safety of others on the road, plus animal health and safety. But the impact on ag could be big. There are studies that indicate that of all the accidents involving trucks hauling cargo, very, very few involve transportation of livestock. And so there's a very small percentage that actually involve the ag transportation of livestock. And there are some exceptions to the final rule. One exists for vehicles built before 2000, for example. There's still 150-mile radius short-haul log exemptions and drivers that maintain written logs for no more than 8 days during a 30-day period. But this has been a big issue for a lot of ag groups. They view it as an invasion of privacy. They view it as something that they should not be required to do. And really, I think probably the big issue that's out there for ag is an hour of service requirement that restricts drive time to 11 hours. Now, that rule change occurred back in 2003, and it says truckers are restricted to 11 hours of driving within a 14-hour period, and 10 hours of rest is required. And that is a really tough rule for long-haul cattle transports. When you unload and reload cattle, that can be pretty detrimental to their health. And I think an exception from that restriction seems to be in order. But this rule is going to go in play December 18th. Although the Trump administration is pushing off full enforcement of it until the middle of April, until April 1 of 18.
That 90-day delay has been put into place, as you just mentioned. Is there a chance that they're going to review it more and that the livestock sector might be able to benefit from that delay a little bit more?
Well, there's some history here. In the 1 year of the Trump administration, they've done a lot with looking at regulations that have a serious impact on commerce as well as on taxpayers. So there is that hope that's out there that the 90-day provision will give the feds enough time to go back and an opportunity to go back and look at this and maybe take a different course. But certainly the livestock industry and the horse industry in particular are very interested in this, and it does merit attention.
Okay, Roger, thank you again for your insight. We appreciate it. Roger McEowen, he's with the Washburn University School of Law, joining us in discussion on the ELD.